community in Espanol?
Comunidad.
Comunidad.
La comunidad is a group of individual, a group of people that may see themselves going a different route than others, or may just want to pursue that same route or want to change that route. Community is togetherness, and it's understanding one another and fighting for the same cause.
Right.
You're posing it to me as well.
Yes.
Okay.
What is community to you?
Well, community to me is having a place to go where people of like mind share the same experiences, that you can communicate with, that you can share your feelings with, and have somebody or several somebodies that you know will support you.
Thanks. Miss Huffman, what's community to you? And I'll just ask her, because she's had a chance to listen to the answers, how has community serviced you, and how have you serviced community?
Well, I guess I can only piggyback on what everyone else has said. Community for me is an end to isolation. Community is sharing. Community is being involved, and community is having something within yourself to give back, as well as take from the community. And what the community has given me is an opportunity to work with the transgender community, to give of myself, and to feel needed, to feel useful, and just included.
Thanks.
Accepted.
Thanks. It's interesting because at the Lesbian and Gay Community Services Center on 13th Street, the Gender Identity Project first began around 8 years ago. We were dealing with transgender issues. Co-founder Dr. Barbara Warren and Ricky Ann Wilkins, who started the project, wasn't so sure how transgender, the spectrum, was going to be accepted at a lesbian and gay community services center. Through dialogue, through the mission of the center, which is about healing from heterosexism, healing from homophobia, healing from transphobia, healing because you are part of a sexual minority, they made room for the Gender Identity Project, and I am happy to say that all of us, wherever we fall on this spectrum, however we identify as being gay, lesbian, bisexual, or heterosexual, we are part of the Lesbian and Gay Community Services Center's mission is to heal from oppression, to be empowered, and to build strong, vibrant communities. The people that you see here today are the grassroots activists. The people that you see here today are the ones that are out on the front line doing this work, and you are all very powerful people. I thank you for being here. We have around 10 minutes for questions. We would love to connect to the people that are out there that might have some questions about themselves, where they might fall on the transgender spectrum, where they might fall, where they could get assistance for whatever issues they're dealing with. We ask that your question be educated, well thought out, and if your question is a tad rude, we're going to have a hard time answering that question. So the phone number is, and he's telling it to me right now, 757-1488. Thank you, David. Do we hear one ringy dingy?
Could you explain to the audience why the transsexual, the S was dropped from the word transsexual?
Sure. Before we go to the first question, Nora, why was one S dropped from the word transsexual?
I asked you.
Okay. Transsexual is spelled with two S's in the DSM-4. Actually, it's not even in the DSM-4, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, 4th edition. We remove the S for those of us that identify with the word transsexual to empower ourselves and to remove the pathology from the word. When I say I'm a woman of transsexual experience. One asks, I am depathologizing my history by way of empowering myself. Do we have a caller? We have a caller. What is your name? Hello?
Hello,
Yes, hi. Can you speak up, please?
can you hear me?
Yes. What
Okay,
is
well,
your
it's not as
question?
much as a question, but
We
I'm
can't
now beginning to learn more about the transgender community.
Okay,
and
I
was
heard
just
him.
channel
If you could
surfing.
say that question again, sir, please.
I said, I'm
Hello?
looking to...
There goes the question.
Hello?
David erased the question. I know what the question was. The question was, Andre.
That's not
The
a question.
question
Wait a minute.
was, Andre, how visible is the men's community and how powerful is the men's community, and is the men's community connecting to the rest of the people on the transgender spectrum, or is it difficult to have your space on the transgender spectrum? Good question.
It's a big question. The community, I don't know if I could speak in terms of it, being powerful. It is a strong community in the sense that that there are so many of us out there joining forces and meeting with one another and supporting one another in various places. One of the places that we've met is the female to male transgender conference that meets every year.
Right, which is soon. Where?
Which will be coming up this weekend, as a matter of fact. And if you call the center, I believe and ask for the Gender Identity Project, I'm sure you can get more information on that.
Thanks. And that's next weekend.
This weekend coming up.
This weekend,
This
great.
weekend coming up.
Great.
Also, we have a men's group that meets at the center.
Great.
Where trans men will get together and discuss various issues.
Yes, thanks. I think we have a call. Is this person's name Ron?
Yes, hi.
Yes, Ron, hi. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. What is your question?
I'm bi-curious
Uh-huh.
and would like to know if there's any way to get in touch with you after the show.
Okay. That's a nice question. If you have, now,
I didn't hear the question.
do we have, Ron said they're bi-curious and they wanted to know if they can get in touch with me after the show. I was going to say on, but because I'm engaged, I will say no, but we appreciate that you called, Ron. Keep watching our show. Do you have a second question from somebody else, David? Yes. What is your name? No name. Oh, any other questions? I have a question. Oh, I could hear the question loud and clear. Edwin's coming through. Okay, Edwin,
Hi.
what is your question?
Well, at first I'd like to say shame on me being a gay man. I've kind of had those stereotypes of what transgender and what the transgender community is about.
Right.
And listening, I was just channel surfing to your panel and yourself, which I might say you're very beautiful. You're very intelligent. Not to say that I didn't think you were intelligent, but you know, I'm ashamed that I've had these stereotypes of what transgenders are about, and I see that you really have a community. How can we, me, a gay man that's had these dark shadows in our mind, be educated? And where can I go to learn more of a group with your intelligence and your and your morals?
Great question. Did you by chance hear the question? Okay.
No.
I'm sorry.
Where's
No.
Where's your question mark?
No. No.
First, I have to say thank you for calling Edwin, and I appreciate the intimacy that I just had with Edwin. Edwin identifies as a gay man, and Edwin asserted that there is shame on him for being a gay man. He had all these stereotypes of what people of transgender experience are about. By watching this show, he saw that many of us could be articulate, well-spoken, professional, and shame on him for not realizing that the stereotypes that they've had of other people, like being gay, lesbian, or bisexual, was the same stereotype that he was perpetrating onto us. So we thank you for that articulate. It wasn't actually, well, he did ask a question. He asked, where could you go to get more information? Well, first of all, Edwin, at the Lesbian and Gay Community Services Center, once a year, we have a transgender, transsexual health empowerment conference that all people, professionals, consumers, and people that are interested to learn more about the transgender spectrum are more than welcome to attend that. Second of all, there is a Different Light bookstore between 6th and 7th Avenue on 19th Street that has a whole transgender section. There are many transgender people and people of transgender experience out there doing wonderful work. Could we just, instead of me just naming all the transgender people, who comes to mind of people that are doing wonderful work to empower transgender people?
Leslie Feinberg.
Leslie Feinberg. Ricky Ann Wilkins, who's the executive the executive director of Gender PAC and is a transgender activist internationally.
Dr. Barbara Otto.
Dr. Barbara Otto is a non-transgender woman that's doing wonderful work for the transgender.
Of course, there's Rudia Giuliani.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure if Giuliani falls on the spectrum, but if they do, they're doing great work for our...
Maldi from New York Hospital.
Okay, thanks.
There's Bally White. She's the assistant director of the outreach program at Harlem United in Harlem.
And there's Lee White, who does tremendous work in Harlem for transgender people and is also an out woman of transsexual experience. We have a question. Who's the first question?
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi, this is Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
Yes, you counseled me back at the Gay and Lesbian Center, I think back in '91.
Okay.
But my question is that I'm a city employee, and I find that when people find out of your transgender status...
Let me just say what you're saying as you say it. Sandy came to the Gender Identity Project in 1991. She's a city employee. When people find out about her transsexual, transgender status,
Yes, and that I'm also a supervisor. I find discrimination, but under the federal government, EEOC, there is nothing for transgender to file any type of legality.
Okay,
is
so
there
Sandy, so what Sandy is saying, when she is outed at her job, under some laws, we are not covered, people of transgender, transsexual experience. That's why Gender PAC is out there trying to make changes, trying to fight legislation. That is why it's so important for you, Sandy, to be visible, to be out loud and proud, and for us to do this type of show so we could educate and we could let people know that it's not okay to discriminate against us. But the more of us that come together, the more power we have, the faster we're going to change the system. Do you have something to say to gender-based oppression, which is what we're trying to fight? Do you have something to say? You were just where?
I was just at the National Conference for National Organization for Women.
Right.
And we've equated the gender oppression that we face with a lot of the issues within feminism. And we were successful in getting now to pass a transgender support resolution at the National Conference. So we got support from a really big, probably the biggest feminist organization in the country on this issue, fighting gender-based oppression.
Thanks. We have our last question just for today. If you have other questions, remember 212-620-7310. Ask for the Gender Identity Project at the center. What is your question? Hello? This question is in regards to HIV, AIDS, education, and treatment. We do have one of the first, maybe one of the only HIV, AIDS prevention, treatment, and education video specifically geared to the transgender populations. It is important to note that all HIV, AIDS education was not available to educate people on the transgender spectrum. Our video, which is available with sensitivity trainings and educational forums, is a video that encompasses most of us, except for Arlene. We have a safer sex kit that we give out to girls on the street. Nora, if you'd like to just quickly talk about the safer sex kit, just say quickly what's in the safer sex kit.
The Safer Sex Kit has a palm card. It also has the flyer of the Gender Identity Project, Where Are You in the Transgender Spectrum. It also has two non-lubricated condoms and one lubricated condom. It also has one glove and one dental dam and one palm.
Thanks. Our time's up. But I'd like to thank you all for being there and all of you for being here. You could wave to family if you'd like. Thanks.